Hey everybody, I'm Tim O'Connell, world champion bareback rider. When I'm not on the rodeo trail, I love to be on the hunting trail. There's something so peaceful about being out in the field, and my favorite story to tell has got to be my first bow kill. My first bow kill actually took place last year. There was no bow hunters in my family, so everything I had to learn was on my own. And it took me till my 5th time out there to actually see a deer or even have the opportunity to shoot at one. I almost didn't get that opportunity because, like an inexperienced bow hunter, I got antsy, I got up too soon, and I had 2 big does coming in behind me, and I got up, banged my stand, and sure enough, there they went. And I had to sit back down and just be mad as all get out, knowing I just blew another chance to get my first bow kill. But the good Lord blessed me to have 4 more come in about 10 minutes till the sun went down. They walked about 20 yards in, and I was right there in good position. Drew back, made the shot on the biggest one I'd seen. It was a good shot. She went about 50 to 75 yards out in this real tall grass. It took about an hour to track her down, and there she was. And it was such a good feeling knowing that I made my first bow kill. I was so excited, and I couldn't have been happier with it. Before I go out there, I always have my Polaris Ranger with me. There's something about a Polaris that you can go out there, you can do anything and everything in the field with them. First thing I like to do with them is always maintain them and check maintenance. And the first thing I start with is the tires. So first off, I'm gonna check my tires. And while you're down here, fidgeting getting these little caps off anyway, I just like to look at my tires and make sure there's nothing wrong with them, but I have the peace of mind knowing that I have Polaris tire sealant in there. So if anything were to happen out on the trail, I know that it's gonna get that hole covered up and filled in so I can get back to camp and I'm not gonna be stranded out there with a flat tire. And while you're down here, it's just really simple just to check your CV boots for any tears, any cuts or anything of the sort, and if you do, it's just really easy to get them replaced. And next, I'm gonna go check all my fluids. The first fluid I'm gonna check is the engine oil. And just bring it out and wipe it, stick it back in, pull it out, and that'll give you a good reading. And we are at a safe reading with the oil. And next, I'm gonna check the transmission and gearbox fluids. So up front here, we're gonna check the gear case fluids. Before I started this, I actually broke this loose already. And I usually like to use a magnetic head because if you drop this, it's kind of a pain to get it back. To check the proper levels for your fluid, it's actually just the base of your threads. So we have good levels, so I'm just gonna stick her back on there. And now I'm gonna check the transmission fluid. So right above the hits is your transmission fluid. And just like your gear case, you just want your fluids right to be at the base of the threads, and this one is good. So we're gonna move on to the coolant neck. So underneath the hood is our coolant levels, and that's actually pretty easy. It's just right here. You have a minimum and a maximum, and we are in pretty good levels here. So lastly, we're gonna go check out our brake fluids. The brake fluid's really easy to check. There's a nice cutout here where there's a max and a minimum sign, and our fluids are right in the middle of that. So our brake fluids are really good. And now that we're done with the fluids, we're gonna go check out the drive belt. So actually before we got started here, I took the cover off. We're gonna just check our belt out. And when you check your belt out, you really wanna look for any rips or tears or any glazing or delamination in the belt. You can do that while the belt is on the machine, or you can take the belt off and inspect it by hand. It's good to actually take the belt off so you do know how to take it on and off in the field. That way, if anything were to happen out there, you know how to properly work your machine and you can get it on and off really quick. I like to take a belt with me out there just in case anything were to happen. This belt looked really good, so we're gonna put our cover back on and we're gonna move on to our final step. So for our final maintenance check, we're gonna check out the battery. Polaris made this really simple. You just turn the key over and right on the speedometer, it's gonna read DC and it's gonna tell you what your volts are at. And this is at 12.0, and as long as it's in between 12 and 13, you're good to go. And I also like to check my lights out, and that's just easy flip of the switch. That way, if it gets dark on you out there, you can see as far as your Polaris can let you see. For a simple thing that I like to carry with me though is my Polaris jump pack. That way, if you're out in the middle of the woods, if anything dies on you from your cell phone to your pickup truck, it's an easy jump pack to get you going again. And that's it for my checklist for my maintenance. Now that our maintenance checks are done, I want to show you my favorite setups for the bows and our guns. The Kolping KXP clamps I think are the best out there because they really keep your bow secure when you're going through the woods. And they're really simple to use. They're just little rubber clamps, and you stick your bow in there, or you can put any tool you need in there for your food plots if you're doing any work in the woods. And then you can just really trust it to keep your bow secure while you're going through the hills. And also, the dual gun rack It's really great because it's at a great angle to keep your gun safe when you're going through the woods, so there's no bumping or anything that can mess your sights up, and it's just very secure. Well, now that we have our checklist done for all of our maintenance, and I've showed you some of my favorite hunting accessories, it's time to get out there and go hunting. If you guys have any more questions, check out Polaris.com, see your owner's manual, or check out your local authorized Polaris dealer. Other than that, be safe out there, everybody. It's hunting time.